pay packages. Which one is most profitable for you? So which pay packages are more profitable for owner operators and lease operators? Is 8812 better than 7525? I'm going to get into the details. I mean, you might think that the 8812, because 88 sounds a lot better, but is it really that much better? We'll get into the pay statements shortly, but in this video, we're going to be going over which pay statement is more profitable, which company is more likely to go bankrupt. Is it the trucking companies that are running 8812 versus 7525? And in this video, we're also going to talk about which one of these companies are more likely to commit fraud by skimming from the top and taking away from your confirmation. If you don't know what skimming on top is, make sure you're watching this video because a lot of companies do it. We're also going to be going through paychecks of scenarios. Drivers and owner operators driving $29.50 on the miles, getting paid in two different scenarios so you could see for yourself which one is actually more profitable. I mean, in this video, I'm actually going to take pay statements and show you guys the difference in pay and at what point does it make more sense to work at 7525 and at what point does it make more sense to work on the 8812. Now, which of these two pay structures are the dispatchers more likely to be aggressive with their bargaining? I mean, does it really make a big difference if you're getting paid $2,000 or $2,200 on a load? Well, I can assure to you that the extra $24 is not going to make them work a lot harder. So make sure you watch this video to the end because I'm going to give you all the information and you will know after this video what pay structure is better. So let's talk about the two different pay packages. 8812, usually what's included? Absolutely nothing. The owner operator pays for absolutely everything. Tolls, bridges, faxes, trailer, insurance, any on-road expense the owner-operator pays for in an 8812 structure. What's the difference between 7525? Two things are different. Number one, your insurance is paid for by the company. And the second thing is your trailer. Your trailer is included in your pay package. But what is more profitable and where is the trigger point for both? So which one is more likely to fail? Well, after 16 years of being in the industry, I can honestly say that the 8812 structure, it is more common that the trucking company goes under versus a structure of 7525. Any small bump in the economy, 8812 usually does not survive. There's a lot of fraud that happens with 8812. No company in the US that I've seen of, and every single owner operator that I talk to or lease operator, nobody gets their original confirmation. So really, you do not know what the load actually pays. So if you have a load going from Illinois, going to Georgia or Pennsylvania to Georgia, you, the owner operator or the lease operator, you really don't know if that load is paying $2,500 or if that load is paying $3,000. But I can assure you that in 8812 structure, there's a lot more fraud going on there versus 7525. The 8812, what can happen and happens a lot is when you have a confirmation, let's say the broker pays the trucking company $2,700, they will then take $2,500, they will cut $200 up on top and give the owner operator or the lease operator $2,500 and then take their percentages from there. No trucking company that I've seen in the US, and that's why I decided to be different when we're there in Atlanta, is to provide owner operators with access to the confirmations or part of the confirmations. 8812, if you're laying over or if you're moving or if you're not moving, the company is not as interested with you and your layovers and your waiting times. Why? Because they're really only making 12%. Now, are they more aggressive with bargaining? I mean, think about it. The difference between a $2,000 load or a $2,200 load is really just $24 for them. So are they really going to fight for every dollar of yours? The answer to that is, I mean, the hard truth is no, they're not. Now let's talk a little bit about the 7525 structure. So 7525, everything is included inside this pay package. Your dispatch is included, your trailer is included, the insurance is included. Why do I like this structure more? Because there is accountability on the trucking company. The trucking company is held accountable for finding you loads. They're held accountable for, they know that if you're not moving, they're coughing up the bill for your insurance and they're coughing up the bill with that trailer that you're attached to. So that's why I like the 7525 structure more. But which one is actually more profitable? Let's bring up those pay statements. Let's talk about them and wait till the end for my conclusion on what is more profitable and what you should look out for. All right, here are the two pay statements. Number one is 25%, the one on the left, and number two is at 12% commission. Okay, so the first one, the driver drove 2950 miles at $2.10 per mile, grossing out $61.95. The second one, the exact same thing. He drove 29.50 miles at 210 per mile, 61.95. One of them has a 25-75 commission split, so that's a deduction. The other one has a 12% deduction. Now, both trucks came up with the exact same fuel, so we're talking about the identical truck driving on this structure versus this structure. We want to know what actually is more at the end of the day. So tolls and bridges, $150, accident insurance, some sort of insurance that they have, and the registration for plates is $166. So left side, driver took home $27.97 for the week, driving 29.50 miles. Now on the right hand side, 12%, you have $743 of a 12% deduction. Then you have $14.94 for fuel, and then you have all the other deductions: tolls, $150, $33.75 in accident insurance, $166 for plates, $85 for bobtail insurance, $300 for rental trailer, $25 for ELD and E-logs, $350 for an additional insurance. Okay, so you can see running $29.50 on the miles, the pay is pretty much identical. Both drivers made about $2,800. One of them made $50 more than the other. Now, not every single week you are going to be running at $29.50 on the miles, and this is where the important part comes in. I mean, yes, every company out there is going to promise you 3,300 miles and 4,000 miles and 3,400 miles, 3,300 miles, but there are weeks that you do 21 and 2,200 miles. And it's very common. And there is going to be a week that you're going to want a long weekend and you want the Friday off or you want the Monday off. It is extremely common. Not every week a driver can produce the $29.50. And this is the biggest benefit to you guys out there under the 75-25 split over the 1288. So now let's take two more pay statements. All right. So this one is for 2150 miles, 2,150 miles. You can see at $2.10 per mile. The reason I took that number is because it is today's national average for the first week of July is $2.10 per mile. Okay. So driver grossed out $4,500 in this 7 days. So this is a 1 week pay statement. Okay. Now the 75-25 split, 1,128. Here's all the deductions on the left-hand side. So the fuel is calculated at 7.5 miles per gallon. Tolls and bridges, the same thing, $33.75 in accident, and then registrations for plates. The driver is left with $1,845 on the 25-75 commission split. Now, if you take the identical mileage and you run the exact same expenses that we did before, the driver's left with net pay of $1,672. What does that mean? That means that if you're ever going to be any week that you're producing less than about 2,300 miles, the 25-75 split commission is much better. Now, last year this time, freight rates were through the roof, $2.95 per mile. Now let's look at the difference if the freight rates are $2.95 per mile. Let's look at what the pay difference is between these two drivers getting paid at $2.95 per mile. So here you have it, the guy on the left at the 25% split, $29.50, $8,700 gross, 75-25 split, $1,770 for fuel, $150 for tolls, accident insurance. $4,400 is what's left over for the 75-25 split. Now, if you look on the right-hand side for the 12%, 12 and 88, you can see that the driver has $300 left over more than the driver working on the 75-25 split. So here is my conclusion and my honest opinion for all you owner operators and lease operators out there. Although 8812 sounds like the better number, 88 sounds much better than 75, I truly and honestly believe that 75-25 is a much better package for lease operators and owner operators. Not every week will you owner operators and lease operators will be able to produce the 3,000 miles. There are some weeks that we do 1,500 miles. There are some weeks that we take off a Friday and we want a long weekend and we produce 2,100 miles. Not every week do we produce the 3,000 miles, and therefore I truly believe that the 75-25 split is better. I feel like the companies are much better run organizations. I feel like the companies that are willing to take upon themselves the insurance and the trailer, those are the companies that have the work for you out there. And if they have the work for you out there, that's the company that you want to tag along with. And that's why I chose that pay package for our terminal down in Atlanta, Georgia. So this way, there's going to be some accountability on the trucking company that you're working for. If they don't have the miles, they will start losing money because of that trailer and because of that insurance. So if you enjoyed this video here, make sure you watch my video over there where I take two scenarios of $1.85 and 2.05 per mile, and I run the exact same scenario of driver's pay statements. What is the difference between $1.85 and 2.05? Well, make sure you watch that video. You're definitely gonna like it if you like this one. I'm Ronen, R-O-N-E-N, and I'll catch you in my next video.